fallacies, unquote. My response to JC was as follows. Dear JC, first, before you write a letter to someone, you should consult a dictionary as to the correct spelling of words. He had misspelled words all over the place. For such a short letter, you certainly overshot your quota and no doubt exposed your general comprehension of the topic. In any event, as far as your letter itself is concerned, the problem lies not so much with my circular reasoning, but with your failure to reason at all. Let me give you some words of wisdom. Before you set out to attack somebody else's writings, read what they have written and committed themselves to. Clearly, you have failed in that regard as far as BE is concerned. He hadn't read our publication at all, from what I could tell. Your first premise was that I alleged there was no God. Out of all our issues, could you cite chapter and verse to prove this? If you had read what went before, you would know that I have repeatedly said on many occasions, the burden of proof lies on he who alleges. That is basic to all rational scientific thought. I am under no obligation to prove a God does not exist. You're obligated to prove he does. After all, you're the one who keeps bringing up the idea. If someone tells me they are visited by angels, I'm not required to prove it doesn't occur. They must prove it does. Otherwise, every crackpot theory imaginable is true until somebody can prove it's false. How absurd. Prove I didn't talk to the devil this morning if I say I did. After all, you weren't there. If I say I'm followed by a little green man every day, and you say that's ridiculous, under your twisted logic, that's true, unless you can prove it's false. Secondly, insofar as miracles and the supernatural are concerned, can you provide any tangible evidence to substantiate the existence of either? Can you show me one event that doesn't have a perfectly rational, natural, material cause? As with the effectiveness of prayer, few subjects receive more attention with less corroboration than miracles and the supernatural. It's hard to believe that so much gab is devoted to so little dab. Thirdly, I can't help but note that apologists who talk the most about logic and reason are nearly always those who practice them the least. If there is any lack of scholarship and objectivity involved, it lies in your inability to jettison your Christian upbringing and view your own inadequacies. You began with a premise that proved you had not read our prior issues, and then quickly followed this up with a weak attempt to shift the burden of proof. Later, you not only promoted the existence of miracles and the supernatural, but claimed, quote, being an atheist defies human reasoning, without providing proof of either. Apparently, we're supposed to believe them simply because you say so. Don't let your initials get the better of you, JC. You are no more qualified to pontificate than your hero. You asked if I've searched every inch of the entire universe and if I possess all knowledge. Even a trace of sensibleness would tell you that you are the one who is required to conduct such a search. You are the one who must come back with the appropriate evidence, not I. You ended your attack by saying it takes nothing but common sense to remove the difficulties. What difficulties are you talking about? Would you please dispense with glittering generalities and be specific? Like most apologists, you dodge detail because of what it would entail. As I have repeatedly told critics of our publication, please don't toss out nothing but broad generalizations. Give me chapter and verse. And finally, I can think of few people less qualified to cite common sense as their mainstay than you. Judging from your letter, you believe in a God, miracles, the supernatural, divine inspiration and intervention, biblical inerrancy, and your own objectivity without providing evidence of anything. Your letter, my friend, was written from the heart, not the head. That completes our presentation, and please join us later for the 53rd edition of Biblical Errancy, when we'll continue showing why the Bible is nothing more than the flawed composition of some fallible human beings. Thank you for listening.